This video got 15 million views, y'all.
After I was 8 years old, I never used a Q-tip in my ears. I have not brushed my teeth since I was 8 years old.
You ain't brushed your teeth since you was 8?
Oh yeah, I'm 62 years old and I got every one of them, never had a cavity, and I've never had any problems with them. Go figure that one out.
You was 8 years old?
No, I just do hydrogen peroxide.
You gotta start with that.
No, the reason why, go on a YouTube video and watch if you put crest on a toothbrush, okay? Take that same toothbrush on a rusted chrome bumper and watch it just take all the rust right off the bumper. Now that's the same thing that you're cleaning your teeth with. What you're doing is you're withdrawing the enamel. In other words, you're taking the enamel, the protection off your teeth when you brush. Why? Why? What did Moses use soap when he was? Did Jesus? Did any of them? They lived 400. Moses lived 400 years.
He might be on to something a little bit. If we just imagine us just brushing our teeth every single day, and what if we are just brushing off the protection and the enamel inside of our teeth? When you think about it down to the physical body and the healthcare system, this all is a corporation. Dental health, the dentist area is a corporation. They want more people to come there and get more money. Why would they tell us the easier way to keep our teeth healthy and strong?
In case you weren't convinced that we live in a matrix, there are CIA documents that tell you how to contact people telepathically, heal parts of your body using your mind, and remember forgotten memories. And all of the instructions for these live in a document that was declassified in 2003 called the Gateway Intermediate Workbook. In the late 70s and early 80s, the CIA was super interested in studying the psychic abilities of the mind. This document is wild. Look at this. To reduce pain signals. I'll move so you can pause this to read it if you want to. But what is this? Repeat the number 55515. There are diagrams instructing you how to exhale stale, used up energy out of your feet, how to perceive distant events and people, remote viewing. Again, I'll move so you can pause to read this if you want to. But the most interesting thing in all of this is that every single exercise starts with an affirmation. And the affirmation essentially states that we are more than our physical body, contrary to popular belief. Not only that, but the affirmation also asks non-physical entities for their protection.
Did you know that you're actually supposed to be ambidextrous and be able to use both hands? This is when the medical field is black magic and making you guys stupid and sick. Through connecting with the body, breath work, and exercise, you can activate both sides of your body, your central nervous system, which will then activate your brain and make you more intelligent. They told you could only use one side of your body because they wanted to control you.
Didn't you just see the CIA documents talking about taking deep breaths and centering the energy around your body, sending the energy around your body? Okay, I'm just making sure you remember that part.
You are greater than anything this world can comprehend. And the only reason why the world is fucked up is because people decided to believe a government and education that was made only to control you. You're only supposed to be functioning with half your body. No wonder neuropathy is a disease now, because you refuse to move your body. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's uncomfortable. It's because you're growing new neurons within your brain structure. And the moment you start awakening and realizing that, it's no longer frustration or anger, it's growth. It's the reason why children and babies cry so much, because they're actually using the body and activating the central nervous system, and it's hurting them. That's why they get so emotional, because they're in pain. You really think that heaven is a blessing that's given and not earned? Why do you think earth is the way it is? Because it's the underworld. It's representing what you have to break through in order to ascend to the better heavens. Heaven is here right now, but there's only small bits of it. What is it that you need to do in order to have only that reality?
Why are we only using half of our body? Are we just going along in life half brain, half everything? 8 months now, I've been brushing my teeth with my left hand. So I've been trying to activate that side of my body, and I'm noticing more changes in my thought patterns and in my body, period. Do y'all believe we should be ambidextrous? I hope I said that right. This one also got 1 million views.
Bless is be less. Be less you. When something is really good, we say that is sick. Another word for good is wicked. That's wicked. The English language is full of hidden spells. This is why we call it spelling. Because every word you say is creating torus fields, which is energy and frequency. Frequency is the only thing that can penetrate your body without your consent. You can choose what you put into your body, but you cannot choose what you hear. Every frequency you listen to and produce has an effect on your cells and electromagnetic field. And when this field becomes destroyed, your body becomes destroyed. Because energy and frequency comes before physical matter. It is the creator of physical matter. English is the most spoken language in the world. They want everyone to speak it because it's filled with double meaning words which cast hidden spells. Mourning is the feeling you feel when someone has died. Why do you think the Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue?
So this document changed my perception of what UFOs actually are and where they're coming from. And I want to go over a few bullet points real quick, and then I'll get into what I think about all this. So this document's from 1947, and it was declassified by the FBI. So let's just hit a few of these points real quick. So in the document, they say, they're talking about the flying saucers. They say, part of the disc carry crews, others are under remote control. Their mission is peaceful. The visitors contemplate settling on this plane. These visitors are human-like but much larger in size. They are not excarnate Earth people but come from their own world. They do not come from any planet as we would use the word, but from etheric planet which interpenetrates with our own and is not perceptible to us. Materialize on entering the vibratory rate of our dense matter. We won't get into that. That's about their laser beams. It's kind of scary stuff. But it says the region from which they come is not the astral plane, but corresponds to the locus or talus. Students of esoteric matters will understand these terms, locus and talus. So that's what I want to talk about now. So locus and talus is from ancient Hinduism and also Theosophy, and what it talks about is the 7 realms of the universe. So they split the universe into 7 realms, and each realm they're like bipolarized, right? So they have different polarities. So you have a kind of like a material and a spiritual realm. So the locus is the spiritual realm and the talus is the material realm, right? So there's 7 levels to the universe. Okay, this is where it gets super interesting because they're kind of nestled. There's a hierarchy. So we're at the bottom level, right? So we're right here, and we can't really see or interact with anything outside of our level. But outside of our globe is what they call it, our world, we're at the densest, bottom, most material world. Outside of that is wrapped in these 6 other bubbles. Okay, and when you go up, so say the bubble right above us, right? That talus. They can interact with us and everyone in their world, okay? And then you go up a notch, they can interact with everything below them, right? Then you go up and up and up. And as you go up, you get less dense, more into a light being. And then each one of these can descend to the level below it and the level below that and interact with those worlds if they want to, right? So this led me to remembering what Tom DeLonge said one time. He had a classified briefing, and he said that the way he was described what a UFO was is not a flying disc, but a submerging craft. So meaning that the same way we get into a submarine, right? So for us to go into the sea, we have to become more dense, okay? Because we have to sink into the sea. So a submarine actually has these like containers that fill up, these compartments that fill up with water. When they fill up with water, it makes the submarine more dense and it sinks. Now for the submarine to come up, it lets that water out and then it floats up, okay? So that's how a submarine goes down into the sea. It doesn't swim down, it doesn't propel down, it sinks, it submerges. That's why it's called submarine, submerge, okay? So these UFOs, these crafts. So imagine we're here, this is our globe, and then there's a etheric realm around us. And now they have access to everything in their realm and everything below it. See? So if they want to go down, they have to become more dense. They have to sink, right? So these crafts, these tic-tacs and these discs and these triangles and all these different crafts that we see, they're not flying here. It's not like they're coming from some other planet in the universe and flying here physically. That's not the way things work when you get to this level of consciousness. So each of these realms above us is stacked on top of us. So they're not flying here from somewhere else. They are physically here. They're stacked on top of us. They just have to lower their density and sink into our realm. Does that make sense? It's crazy, huh, if you think about it. So we're all trying to like reverse engineer their propulsion system and trying to figure out like, how do they fly? What's their energy source? And this kind of stuff. It's going to be more like a Merkaba, right? A Merkaba is like, or Merkaba, however you say it, is basically two tetrahedrons, two pyramids, right? So you have one pyramid going this way and one pyramid coming down this way. They spin around in opposite directions. And I actually have a meditation. I'll do another video on a Merkaba meditation, which you can actually create this vehicle around your astral body so that you can safely travel through the astral realms in different dimensions. It's amazing. Now, this is how I believe these beings in these higher astral, these higher dimensions, right? These other talas, how they come down into our worlds. They create these Merkabas. They have to have like a ship. They have to have some sort of a craft, like the same way we go into the ocean. Like we can swim, we could just dive into the ocean and swim, but eventually it would get too dense and it would crush us. So we get into a submarine, and the submarine safely carries us down into the ocean. That's how these beings are safely submerging themselves into our density here. So we're in the lowest density. Now, a real quick summary of what the Hindus and Theosophy says about what this progression is that basically we start at the top and we're just pure light, right? We're the absolute source consciousness. And each level that we go down, we descend down and we gain more materialistic stuff. We get more dense, we get more of a body, we get more belongings, we get more possessions, we get more things, and we kind of fall down the ranks. And when you get to the very lowest part where we're at now, the job is to ascend. That's why they call it ascension. You have to ascend back up through the 7 ranks till you reunite with source in the absolute at the top.
I need to get my Blue Lotus, because this is some real deep stuff. I'm trying to expand. Let's open this pineal gland. Hey, that's bars. That's bars. Ooh, that's bars. Hold on, y'all, real quick. I got this from Beyond 5D. It's a lotus tincture. So what I do is I basically just put because it only fills up this much, so I'll put like 4 of them underneath my tongue and I'll let it sit there for 90 seconds. So give me a second.
And that's your loop. That's your progression. That's what we're doing here. You have to turn completely material, and then you have to go back the other way. That way you've learned everything. You've experienced everything. You've seen it from every single density, every level. You saw it on the way in and you saw it on the way out. On the way out, I would assume you're more appreciative and grateful and understanding of everything because you're seeing it from both sides. Anyways, so knowing that, there are these realms where these like layers of an onion basically that go out, these 7 layers, they can be described as a higher level of consciousness, but they're also physical, for lack of better words, places where beings live. So in each of these realms, there are beings that live there. In each realm, each one up the peg is going to have different beings because they're a completely different density, a completely different like kind of phase of existence and consciousness. So, and then they're going to have different craft because they're just completely different. Each world is completely different, but they're stacked like those Russian dolls, you know? So as these different beings in these different realms, these different, Telos and Logos, as they are like descending, I guess you would say, submerging into the levels below them, they have to use a Merkaba craft, and their crafts are going to be different. And that's why we're seeing so many different kinds of crafts in the sky, so many different kinds of beings. Some are glowing light, some are childlike, some are more robotic, some are more organic, some are more fluid, some are more ethereal, some are more physical, right? And then the crafts are different, some are more organic, some are just light, Merkaba, some are plasma. They're all sorts of different things because they're coming from these different realms. But what I think is the most fascinating is this paper that was declassified by the FBI talks about this. They talk about these flying saucers. This is from 1947, right after Roswell. This was this paper that was classified, and they're saying, hey, these aren't crafts coming from other planets. These aren't aliens coming from other worlds. They're literally submerging. They're dropping. They're sinking from the densities above us. And this is all told in the Hindu teachings and theosophy. It's really wild stuff, and it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. They're submarines. They're etheric, spiritual submarines. It's a way to increase your density, because we're at the densest part here. So they can increase their density and sink through the different dimensions to get to us, right? And then they're like, and then they zip on out of here, right? That's why they just kind of appear and disappear like that, right? The same way we do in submarines. I'm sure there's sometimes like sharks and whales and fish and stuff. They're like, what the fuck is that? They see a submarine. Think about a submarine. It's a tic-tac underwater. What do we see in the skies? Tic-tacs. They're submarines. Astral freaking submarines. What do y'all think about that?
He literally broke down everything so well. And the same, like literally as above, so below. we descending into this ocean. Space, remember, that's why I got so excited and it made me smile, because it's like space is the ocean. So many things that have been made up in this matrix correlates to water. What is money? It's called currency. What is a doctor? The dock. Where is the dock? On the ocean, on the water. It's liquidity. Like, it's a lot of stuff that resembles to water on a matrix level. We are born in water. We stay in the water. When we come out of the water, it's all pertaining to water. I hope this is clicking with y'all as it's clicking with me. And I hope y'all still with me. This video is about to explain how we are existing in many different forms. Just pay attention.
Time we just didn't know what we were looking at. And I exposed the fact that we have what you call aspects. Aspects are many reincarnated versions of who you are that's also attached to yourself that you cannot see unless your first eye is active. You will be able to see the aspects. So you have an original spark, right? And then you decide to have many different experiences because you too are source. So then as you continue to incarnate, you incarnate into various different beings. Those various different beings is your past, your present, and your future. That's why you hear me say your past, your present, and your future is all going on at the same time. Okay? So, you have lower aspects, and then you have higher aspects. Your lower aspects are...
Oh, dang. I wish she had a longer video. Oh, my God.
And it can't go anywhere. It can't raise its frequency high enough to get out. And it just kind of floats around in there. And that's like this very chaotic space when you wake up in the morning. There's like, you try to remember dreams and they're all fragmented into pieces. Part of what you're remembering is coming from here. The other part's coming from here. There's a bunch of blank spots as far as frequencies missing in between. And this is why we have the dream issues. There's some writings in the books. I forget which pages it's on, but it goes into a bit of the dream distortions that we have and what's normal and what's not normal for dreaming. And most dreaming isn't normal. Mostly it's supposed to be conscious, where you just move your consciousness and project, not dream. So that's part of the astral body thing. When you have normal astral body function, you're connected through the tube. And you don't have to go in and out through the crown chakra. When you're actually, there's a little trick, and most people don't know this, is most people that's had any astral experience have experience going out the crown chakra. What this means is you are going into a projection into this formation. Because if you're going into regular astral body, you actually get up out of your body from this point. You don't have to push out this way. And it's very different. If you start astral, where you really start to feel the body, you know, okay, there's my astral body, I feel it, or at least my mental body level of it, right? It's very common, and most people who teach astral projection have been taught, by guess who, to have people project out the top of their head. Guess why? Look where it'll take you, right into there, right into the shadow body pattern, which then will project you over into the phantom. So that part of you goes over there, and it leaves the other part of you, because it can't take all the frequency, it severs the other part temporarily and leaves it stuck over here. If this happens during the death experience, part of the body gets assimilated by the Wisadek. It drags it right through phantom into the Wisadek. The other part gets stuck in the D3 mental plane here as a ghost. That's where ghosts come from. They're the ones that got stuck, where part of their shadow body went off and they can't, off into Wisadek, and they don't have enough frequency left to get themselves out of the D3 pattern. They can't hold a three-dimensional form anymore. What's the best help for people who have had that experience is they need a host matrix, which means they need people with flame bodies activated that can literally send a path of frequency for them to follow that will give them the frequency bridge that would fill in what they don't have for the astral body, so they could get back up into their soul bodies and out of here. All right, so
let's just talk about Americans. 80% of Americans don't remember their dreams when they get up. Like, it'll be distorted. And she was basically breaking down the metaphysical reason why dreams are distorted. That's a different perspective. And with that, we're gonna wrap this video up. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day and y'all got a little bit of education about the spiritual aspects of existing physically, mentally, everything that plays in one of the realities that you are around, the dimensions that you are around. Hopefully this can, give a little more insight. Let me know if y'all want a part 2 on this topic and the other topics that I have made in previous videos. So enjoy your rest of y'all day, and I love y'all. Thank you for watching.